Welcome to Real Talk. I'm Deb Kent, realtor with Gulfport Realty, and this is
Stacy Purcell with Gulfport Realty.
She's the broker.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's the broker. And we are continuing our segment on real estate etiquette, how to behave when you're a buyer or seller. And there are lots of questions that we get, and people really don't know exactly how they need, what they can do and what they can't do when they're in a house. So I thought maybe we could start with this question, which is actually not related to being in the house itself, but it's sort of an online question. Let's say that I am interested in a house and I happen to find the seller of that house on Facebook. And I decide, even though I'm working with a realtor and she is listed by a realtor, is it okay if I send her a friend request? And is it okay if I communicate with her kind of outside of our realtor relationships? Because I really like her house and I really am interested in buying it. And I found her on Facebook, so she's out there publicly. Is it okay if I reach out to her and start communicating with her?
Well, I'd probably appreciate that you wouldn't, but you really can't tell anybody what they can and cannot do as far as it comes to social media.
Yeah, this is true.
But you know, another thing we were talking about, the do's and don'ts. If you think to yourself, is this a do or a don't? Just don't when you're in a house. Okay?
Words to live by, and that applies to real estate and life.
It does.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life.
Exactly, me too. Right on the straight and narrow, always.
Yeah, that's it. So,
sort of.
But the social media, you know, that could happen. And
it does. It happens on a regular basis. And what I would tell people, just like you said, we can't control. This is a free country. We can't tell you what to do. On the other hand, we can tell you that you are doomed. Basically, your deal is doomed if you start having that kind of communication outside of the real estate relationship, the formal one. And I'm just saying that really from experience. I've seen it happen again and again. People become friendly online while they're in the midst or when they're about to make an offer, and the deal goes south. It has happened every single time.
Like it's on a really fast toboggan. I mean,
exactly.
fast.
It goes south really fast.
It really does.
So if you're wondering whether or not you should establish...
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, toboggan.
Try not to. Right. Go ahead and stalk all you want, but just don't push the button.
Yeah, I mean, that's what real estate agents are for. We're actually, you are enlisting our help to keep that relationship professional and formal, and to also act as buffers between the buyer and the seller. Yeah. Because once things get personal, I have never seen a deal work out that in which the parties became friends online and started communicating and asking questions.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I don't have a problem with buyers and sellers talking in a controlled kind of situation, because I think it's really healthy for the deal, because the sellers that are selling a home, they know a lot about the house that the potential buyers, once you're under contract, it would really be helpful for them to know.
So that is real estate etiquette question number 1, and now I'm going to check and see what other questions people have asked us.
Don't say number 2.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Can I ask the neighbors about the neighborhood? So let's say you're going to see a house and you want to get a sense of the neighborhood and kind of the whole vibe of the street that the house is on. Is it okay at some point during, before, after the showing, if I knock on the door of the neighbors and chat with them and see how they like the neighborhood?
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. It's because we live in a very small, friendly community, and they think everybody's open and friendly. Not always so, but I hear it a lot. Oh, I talked to the neighbor here, I talked to the neighbor there. It's okay, but it's another thing, how can you stop it? But I can stop the neighbor that comes over and talks to my buyers all the time, though.
Oh my gosh.
With a knock on his door, and I've done that many times. Just pointing out everything with the community and the house and the neighborhood. That is more of a nuisance than the buyers seeking some information. I kind of understand it. whenever I buy a house, I drive around it, and I drive around it really slow and hoping somebody will come out. So I can ask them some questions.
Yeah, and actually this kind of relates to another question that we get on a regular basis from our buyers, which is this a safe neighborhood? Should I be scared? So talking to the neighbors would be one way of getting the information that you need, because realtors actually have quite a few prohibitions against having those kinds of conversations. And the reason, it isn't that we don't want to tell you if a neighborhood is safe or unsafe. It's because that kind of conversation can very easily lead to a violation of fair housing, because you wind up talking about safety, and then the next thing you know, you're having conversations that realtors are not ethically or even legally allowed to have. So if you talk to neighbors, you can ask those questions. Have you ever been broken into? Have you ever had any trouble? Do you feel safe here? Those are legitimate questions to ask
You can
neighbors.
also go to your local law enforcement office, and you can get a printout of recent crimes and crimes statistically happen in that area too. And online they have demographics for schools, and then for the population for age, and it also does list crime stats. So that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
You need to get it firsthand from really the police department, and they will help you. They will always help you with that.
Now let's say you're selling a house and you do have a neighbor who's a nuisance. Other question is, what if I have a neighbor, what if I'm selling my house and my neighbor is a nuisance? We don't have a good relationship, and look, let's face it, that happens. And he doesn't like me, and he is bound and determined to ruin my chances of actually selling this house, because every time somebody comes out to see the house, I find out that he has actually approached them and he's told them about problems with my house or problems with the neighborhood. So in that situation, when you know that you have a neighbor who's trying to sabotage your opportunity to sell your house, what do you do?
Well, I have a fine line with this. I myself would go approach them unless they were like totally crazy and had a dog that was gonna bite me or something. But also, our agency has legal representation, and a little letter from our in-house attorney most of the time takes care of that. And then I don't have to approach the person myself, because in situations, you never know what the situation is, and you never want to put yourself in harm's way, or your buyers or your sellers. So just let the law and a legal person take care of that.
And that's good advice. Just bring the law, the long arm of the law.
That's it.
Okay. One of the most common questions we get from buyers is it okay for me to open doors? Can I open closet doors? Can I open kitchen cabinets? Can I open, built-ins? Can I open all those doors and see what's on the other side? And the answer is yes.
You can. Unless it's locked, and then don't jimmy it or pry it or pick it, okay?
Yeah, don't pick the
But
lock.
you have to open up cabinet doors to see the quality of the cabinets a lot of times. Refrigerators, like you said earlier, we have to open those just to see the condition of it. That's okay.
Yeah, totally fine.
Closet space, that's a very, very
Critical.
important part of buying a house.
Yeah, you can open the fridge, you can
Yeah.
open cabinets, you can do all those things.
We always tell our sellers, if there's something that you don't want potential buyers to see, you need to put it away. Put it away now.
Right, that's right. And so that would be firearms, medication, jewelry, anything that's valuable or anything that's embarrassing. Lock that stuff up before your buyers take a tour through your house.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I do.
You know what I'm talking
Unfortunately,
about.
I do.
Well, I think that concludes this segment on real estate etiquette. I'm Deb Kent with Gulfport Realty. This is
Stacy Purcell.
broker of Gulfport Realty, and we want to thank Jennifer Gallo for letting us use her fabulous
We do.
Studio 49 salon. We appreciate that, and we will see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.